If I have to fight BJ Penn, it's a good opportunity for me to make my mark in the sport.
He's ready to come out. It's just he's coming into a different level. He's stepping into something he's never stepped into before.
I'm ready for everything. I'm ready to bang standing up, ready to go on the ground. I'm not afraid of him.
The fight ends when GSP makes that first mistake. That's when the fight is done.
My fight with Rich Franklin will be like a very explosive fight, very exciting, spectacular.
You know me, man. I like to walk out in the ring and just start throwing punches.
We're both explosive, we're both versatile. We can fight standing up, on the ground. It's gonna be a fight like you've never seen before.
It's about me putting my reputation on the line. It's about me walking in that octagon and saying I'm a great fighter. I'm one of the best in the business, and I'm here to prove it.
Lights of Las Vegas, Nevada, and we are inside the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino in a jam-packed Mandalay Bay Event Center for another spectacular Saturday night of Ultimate Fighting, coast to coast, here as UFC 58 is set to open the Octagon doors and get underway. Hi again, everybody. I'm Mike Goldberg. Welcome once again to the Ultimate Fighting Championship. From high school teacher to teaching some of the best fighters in the world a grappling and striking lesson. From being the welterweight champion to no longer being in the UFC to returning tonight. Rich Franklin will defend his middleweight championship belt this evening, and BJ Penn is back in the Ultimate Fighting Championship. My partner, as always, is Joe Rogan, and you know, it's very interesting when you look at Rich Franklin. About 3-4 years ago, he was teaching high school. Now he's teaching everybody how to win in the UFC. It's been a heck of a run for Rich Ace Franklin.
It's been a huge year for him, from the brutal knockout of Ken Shamrock to coaching the Ultimate Fighter. You know, the successful defense against Nate Quarry. He's a fantastic fighter, a very intelligent guy, and he's really making his mark on the sport right now.
I think this second title defense, though, tonight will be his biggest challenge yet.
Well, he's facing a guy who's got a lot more experience. David Loiseau is a well-rounded veteran with international fighting experience. David Loiseau is a fantastic striker. He's been in the heat before. A lot of people thought that Nate Quarry was rushed into that title shot. No one's thinking that about David Loiseau.
David Loiseau said, and I quote, "This is it. It's all I have worked for since day one, and I think we are going to see the best David Loiseau we've ever seen this evening."
Absolutely. I mean, David Loiseau comes from the same camp as George St. Pierre, and like George St. Pierre, he improves dramatically in every fight we see from him. So I expect to see a fantastic David Loiseau tonight.
You know, Joe, the last time we saw BJ Penn, he walked out of the octagon with the welterweight championship belt around his waist. He had defeated Matt Hughes. There was a contract dispute. There's two sides to every story. The truth falls somewhere in between. We know one thing, he's back tonight and back with a vengeance.
He's back, and he has been active the entire time he's been away. BJ Penn is They call him the prodigy for a very good reason. Here's a guy who won the World Jiu-Jitsu Championships after doing it for 3 years. He's a fantastic striker. He's got an unbelievable ground game, incredible flexibility, and a warrior spirit second to none.
All right, our new fans of the UFC have not met BJ Penn. You'll meet him tonight. He's great. GSP, George St. Pierre, equally as talented. He's one of the hottest things people talk about when they talk about the UFC right now.
Again, like we said before, George St. Pierre, you never know what you're going to see from him because he improves so much from fight to fight. I mean, we thought he was going to have a tough time with Sean Sherk. Went right through him like a hot knife. We thought he was going to have a tough time with Frank Trigg. Again, went right through him. He takes experienced, well-rounded veterans and makes them look like amateurs.
Dana White has said he believes this could be the fight of the year. The one thing we do know, both these men, BJ Penn and George St. Pierre, want another shot at Matt Hughes.
Without a doubt. BJ Penn wants to take his title back, and George St. Pierre wants to show that first fight, he made a mistake.
Speaking of title holders, we were expecting to see Ultimate Fighter Diego Sanchez on the card tonight to fight John Alessio. Diego Sanchez out, unable to compete due to a virus. He will fight Alessio down the road. Diego is out, but the lightweights are back. And I'll tell you what, the beautiful thing about that is the fact that we have some tremendous 155-pound fighters this evening.
Oh, absolutely. It's so exciting to see this division back, and so exciting to see the return of a lot of people who think is the uncrowned UFC lightweight champion, Yves Edwards, taking on a really tough guy, Mark Homnick, who's also a great striker as well. This should be a fantastic matchup, and it's really nice to see these lightweight guys get another shot at the UFC.
Well, they are great athletes, they are explosive, and they are ready to rock and roll this evening to get our evening started.
The marquee fighter in the lightweight division, Yves Edwards, makes his return to the octagon. The last time we saw Yves was a spectacular knockout over Josh Thompson. He's a great striker with excellent ground skills, taking on Mark Homnick from up north. I've heard nothing but great things about this guy's striking. He should be a great fight on the feet.
And on the card in the middleweight division, Nathan Marquardt is back inside the octagon.
Nate the Great Marquardt, former king of Pancrase, mixed martial arts veteran, his second fight in the UFC, takes on UFC veteran, the very well-rounded and very tough Joe Dirksen.
Our rules of the octagon: 3 judges will score the bout duration 3 5-minute rounds, or for our championship fight, 5 5-minute rounds. Once again, a 10-point must-scoring system is in effect, with the round winner gaining 10 points, his opponent 9 or less, based on effective striking, grappling, aggression, and octagon control. Well, we spoke of the 155-pounders. We begin the night with the lightweights, in whom many believe is the uncrowned lightweight champion of the UFC. Yves Edwards to tangle with the Canadian, who's never had a fight go the distance. Mark the Machine Hominick is the 7-time defending Canadian mixed martial arts champion, as well as the Canadian super welterweight and North American super welterweight kickboxing champion. Hominick is incredibly fast, and even though his specialty is striking, he has won fights by submission. Tonight he's jumping up a weight class to test himself against one of the best fighters the UFC has to offer.
I prepare for war. Every time I step in the ring, I prepare for war, and I'm ready for that tonight.
Yves Edwards is one of the most feared strikers in the lightweight division. While dangerous with punches and kicks, Yves has rearranged more than one opponent's teeth with his knees. Yves has scored victories over dangerous competition such as Aaron Riley, Naoki Kitani, Hermes Franca, Mishima, and Josh Thompson. Having fought around the world for the last year and a half, Edwards is back and on a mission to prove that he is the best lightweight in the UFC.
You know, I want to get the title now, make sure everything's right, the way that I like it, and then I could open up more and more, and slowly that can of whoop ass starts getting more and more wide open, you know.
Coming up next, Mark the Machine Hominick takes on Yves Edwards. Never had a fight that has gone the distance. He's won 9 of those fights. He's been defeated 4 times. He's only 23 years old. Mark Hominick is an excellent excellent striker, a cardio freak who loves to dictate the pace of the competition.
He is an excellent striker. He is the ISKA Canadian Super Welterweight Kickboxing Champion. He's a world kickboxing champion, North American Super Welterweight champion. He's got fantastic strikes. He's a really solid striker. He's got a good ground game, but probably not as good as Yves Edwards. He's a young guy, a lot of experience up there in Canada. The TKO organization up in Canada they put on a lot of fights, and they have a lot of really top shelf competition. We've seen George St. Pierre come from that. We've seen David Loiseau, and this is the next wave. Mark Hominick is going to represent 155-pound guys.
And a lot of the fighters we see tonight in this USA versus Canada card come from having experience in the TKO north of the border. The Ontario resident, Mark Hominick, a fighter at 145 pounds, a kickboxing champion, as you mentioned. So he says that this is where I live. So if Yves Edwards wants to go and compete against me where I live, I'll take that. Edwards may be the one who switches the pace of this fight.
I don't take them out to eat. I ain't here to trick or treat. I ain't trying to fix your weed. I ain't heard of that. I'm just here to train.
I'll tell you what, it is great to have Yves Edwards back in the Ultimate Fighting Championship. One of the best, if not the best, 155-pound fighters in the world. And as many have talked about us at the top of the show, very well could be considered the uncrowned lightweight champion of the UFC.
Absolutely, very well-rounded fighter. The last time we saw him was that spectacular jumping roundhouse kick knockout of Josh Thompson, who's another great fighter. Yves is well-versed in submissions. He has submission victories over great fighters like Rich Clemente, Mishima in Japan. He's capable of doing it all. He can finish guys on the ground. He can certainly finish guys standing up. He's got great kicks, great punches, and he's got a lot of composure. He's been through this a long time. He's got a lot of experience, a 28-9-1 professional mixed martial arts record. Yves Edwards, a lot of guys think this guy should be wearing a belt right now.
Well, he is not only well-versed in submission, but has great submission defense because he has fought Matt Serra, he's fought Hermes Franca, he's fought Carl Uno. None of those great ground fighters could submit the native of the Nassau, Bahamas.
And he's been in bad positions. I mean, not just, he got stuck in their best spot. Like Matt Serra had his back, and he couldn't finish Yves Edwards. That says a lot. You know, Matt Serra's Abu Dhabi champion. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt of the highest order, and he couldn't finish Yves. So you got to think that this guy he's got great defense and great offense on the ground, and fantastic offense standing up.
He's been fighting and fighting well the last 2 years in Japan, but he says, hey, the Octagon, is my home. Our tale of the tape brought to you by Zions Extreme Supplements for extreme athletes, available at GNC stores nationwide. Yves Edwards, 6 years the elder of the newcomer Mark Hominick, and look at the reach advantage for Yves Edwards at 73.5. He is very long, he is very lean. He will try to take advantage of that tonight against this world-class kickboxer. To officially get our evening underway, we check in with the veteran voice of the Octagon. Here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. And now, it's time to begin the first bout of the evening. This fight is 3 rounds in the UFC lightweight division. Introducing first, the fighter standing in the blue corner. This man is a Muay Thai kickboxer who holds a professional record of 9 wins with 4 losses. Standing 5 feet 8 inches tall, he weighed in at 153 pounds. Fighting out of Thornsford, Ontario, Canada, Mark the Machine Hominick. And now introducing his opponent standing in the red corner. This man is a mixed martial artist who holds a professional record of 28 wins with 9 losses and 1 draw. Standing 5 feet 9 inches tall, he weighed in at 154 pounds. Fighting out of Conroe, Texas, Yves Edwards. And when the action begins, our referee in charge of the Octagon is Mario Yamasaki.
So Mario Yamasaki, our referee, and we are set for the return of Yves Edwards in the debut of Mark Hominick. Crowd already starting the chants of USA and Canada. And we are ready to officially begin our evening.
Are you ready? Let's go!
Here we go. Let's see how good of a kickboxer Mark Hominick is.
One thing we should point out, Mark Hominick is coming up from the 145-pound division, whereas Yves has fought many times in the 170-pound division. Good knee in the clinch.
Look at the quickness.
Yeah, these guys are lightning fast.
And that is a great point you bring up. And Edwards is always one, though, and he always has fun at the weigh-ins, and he did again yesterday. He often will bring some nachos or a cheeseburger up to the scale with him to prove that he has no problem making weight at 155 pounds. He even offered to share his burger yesterday during the weigh-ins with UFC President Dana White.
Nice leg kick by Yves. Good left hand.
Edwards is just thrilled to be back. And Hominick, you know, same thing, Joe, is thrilled to have the opportunity to fight in the big show.
Nice leg kick by Yves and a good tie clinch. Double underhooks by Hominick.
Yves is so much more experienced than Hominick. Hominick with 13 total fights in his mixed martial arts career, and Edwards with nearly 40 total fights in his mixed martial arts career, 28 of those victories.
Good knee by Hominick and another return knee by Yves.
Before Edwards went overseas for a couple of years, when 155 was not prominently displayed here in the UFC, he was on a heck of a winning streak. He had won 6 straight fights in the Ultimate Fighting Championship. Edwards ducks under in a good combination
by both fighters. Good exchange. You know, it's shocking how much faster these guys are. We watched a couple of heavyweight bouts earlier, and you know, watching these guys, I mean.
And that's what the little guys will tell you. They'll tell you they'll bring it. The athleticism is just unparalleled.
It's such an exciting division too, so filled with talent. Good left hand by Yves.
Edwards again. If anybody's going to take this to the ground, it'll probably be Edwards that changes his attack, because of how explosive and comfortable on the feet Hominick is. And again, Joe, not that Edwards isn't, but the more versatile fighter is Yves Edwards.
Yes, but Yves Edwards is primarily a stand-up fighter. That's what he likes.
No question. But he has more of a ground background with his jiu-jitsu. But I have to say that Hominick's going to have to really start to win the stand-up game before Yves thinks, all right, we're going to change directions here in my plan of attack, if you will.
Right, Yves is still comfortable on his feet. Nice right hand by Hominick.
And acknowledged by Yves Edwards. Hominick really does have quick hands. First U.S. appearance for Hominick since 2003. Trains with Sam Hands of Stone Stout, who's on the card tonight in a preliminary matchup, and also Dwayne Bang Ludwig, and we've seen how good Ludwig can be. High kick blocked. Oh, good uppercut. Caught him. And again, there's a huge reach advantage for Edwards. So every time Hominick comes in, he really has to come in closely.
Nice kick by Yves.
Because if he hangs out too far, he's not going to be able to do anything but paw at his opponent, and Edwards can connect.
Hominick really pushing Yves here.
Hominick is, from talking to some of the members of his camp, just a cardio freak, as I said before. Often during victory, he'll go the distance in a fight. He's never gone the distance. He'll go late into a fight. He'll be all burnt out, and he'll do push-ups in the ring afterwards after victory. So loves to show off that his conditioning is superior to most of his competitors.
Nice leg kick by Hominick.
Fight is scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. Lightweight division, white shorts, Mark Hominick, and the black trunks, Yves Edwards.
Good knee by Yves.
Covered up by Hominick.
Beautiful hands by Hominick. Hominick's got really fast hands. Nice jab.
fake that left with a kick. A move often used with great success by light heavyweight champion Chuck the Iceman Liddell.
Nice leg kick by Yves.
And round 1 in the books.
Very good round. Let's take a look at some of the action from that round. Look at that. Bang. Right on the jewels. And a little headbutt afterwards. And another headbutt.
Don't forget, coming up, our main event of the evening for the middleweight championship. Rich Ace Franklin defending his middleweight title against the always dangerous French-Canadian David the Crow Loiseau, he of the most lethal elbows in the UFC present day. So Rich Franklin arriving here at the Mandalay Bay Event Center earlier this evening. Franklin very confident this week, made weight easily. We saw on Spike TV earlier his incredible training regiment that he goes through with his good friend George Gurgel, and styling and profiling is the Crow, David Loiseau.
He looks like the teacher.
You got that right. You got that right. From Montreal, Quebec, Canada. The French-Canadian has waited a long time for this opportunity. He is thrilled. And you want to talk about gentlemen of the game. Rich Franklin, David Loiseau, two of the nicest guys in the UFC right now. Second round underway here for Yves Edwards and Mark Hominick.
Hominick really pushing the pace. He's got Yves backing up. I don't think Yves is used to this.
You are absolutely right in that assessment, because Yves always seems to be the one viewed against Thompson,
Yves took him down.
Who pushes the pace.
Yves shot for the takedown. Good job defending it by Hominick.
Interesting you say that, Joe, because we said if Yves felt like he wasn't able to be at the right pace that he wanted, he might try to change the pace of this fight, and he did there with the takedown.
Absolutely. I don't think he's comfortable with the stand-up. Good body shot. Yves is hurt.
Yep.
And again, he's nice takedown. That's the experience right there.
If the stand-up game is not going his way, Yves Edwards will take the fight to the ground. And he took a huge body shot there from Mark Hominick.
Let's see what kind of training Hominick has on his ground game. Let's see what his guard is like.
He has spent some time in Chicago, Joe, pardon me, at Jeff Curran's Jiu-Jitsu Academy.
Yeah, I was just about to bring that up. He's got Jeff Curran in his corner. He's an excellent Jiu-Jitsu and MMA fighter.
Looking for a triangle.
There's a triangle right there. If Hominick just closes it out, he just pushes Yves' arm across and locks it down. All right, Yves. If he pushes it, okay, he's out now. He's still got one arm caught in. Yves got that arm deep in. This is a triangle. If Hominick can grab a hold of his foot and pull it down. Oh, Yves is caught. He's going to try to slam him to get out of this, but this is in deeper and deeper.
It's over!
Unbelievable!
Triangle victory, and here we go. The push-ups for Mark Hominick as he wins his UFC debut.
Wow, we were saying that we thought that Yves had the better ground game. Unbelievable. It looked like Yves got stuck there. He might have been hurt from that shot to the body that he took earlier.
Mark Hominick working the ground game, and it pays off as he wins his debut.
Let's take a look at the replay. Yves did not seem to be that urgent to get out of this. You got to explode out of that when you feel that leg trapped over the back of your neck and your arm is tucked inside like that. When he had to know it was coming, he tried to slam him here. That didn't work. Hominick twisted it, got it even tighter, and got the arm bar there. And Yves was forced to tap. Let's take another look at that. He held that right leg, too. You see that? It kept Yves from posturing up. Beautiful triangle by Mark Hominick.
Hominick with the submission victory. We check in with Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referee has called a stop to this contest at 1 minute 53 seconds of the second round. For the winner by tap out due to a triangle choke, Mark the Machine Hominick.
We talked over and over and over about this talented striker. He goes to the ground and he submits Yves Edwards, the uncrowned lightweight champion in many's minds, who now will have to go back to the drawing board in this 155-pound weight class. Here's Joe.
Mark, we were raving about your stand-up, and you go and finish Eve on the ground.
Well, that's thanks to Jeff Curran for all his jiu-jitsu training. That's the thing, they think all the guys from Tompkins are one-trick ponies, but we train every art.
Now, it looked like you had hurt him with a body shot. Did you sense that and he went to take you down?
Yeah, exactly. That's my best punch, is my left to the liver, and I hit him with it. It's hard to hit a lefty, but I got him. But I could just give Eve, see, man, he's the man. I try and mimic his style, and he's one of my favorite fighters, so it was an honor fighting him.
All right, take a look at the big screen and talk us through the replay here. This is the body shot that hurt him.
Oh, it was the knee. I thought it was the liver. Oh, there it is, sorry. It was a liver punch. That's my best punch. Saw he was hurt, just kept on him.
Now, it seemed like in the first round, you were dominating the stand-up. Did you think that's why he tried to take you down in the second round?
Yeah, I think, I don't know if it was me coming up in weight. He didn't think I would have the power, but I have a lot of power in my hands, so.
Well, congratulations. That is a huge victory. Most people think Eve Edwards is the uncrowned lightweight champion of the UFC, so I guess that's got to go to you now.
Well, I like to say, you see with the, all the fans, I hope you like seeing the lightweights. It's a big show to have them back, so I won't even bring 145. That's my true weight class. So I'm begging UFC, please, please, please.
I'm sure eventually there will be a 145-pound weight class, but for now...
I'd just like to say to my dad, he's at home battling cancer. It was a hard fight tonight, and I won, and you can win too, okay? Love you.
Mark Hominick, ladies and gentlemen.
Now his father has an incredible fight in front of him, and our prayers to Mr. Hominick, and he should be very proud of his son, Mark, tonight. A strong victory. Our prayers and thoughts for your father fighting cancer, Mark Hominick. Great start to your UFC career. Mark Hominick, the submission by triangle, defeating the ultra-experienced Eve Edwards here tonight. Oh, a great start to our Saturday night here in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. But I will tell you, in a matter of just weeks, for the first time in UFC history, we are bringing the Octagon to California. This man is not human.
The UFC heavyweight champion Andrei Arlovski is looking to continue his dominance in the heavyweight division as he takes on one of the best strikers in the sport today, Tim the Maniac Sylvia.
There's a guy out there holding my belt, keeping it shiny for me. That's Andrei Arlovski. I took you lightly the first time, but you and I will get it on again, I promise.
Also, Tito Ortiz takes on the hard-hitting Ultimate Fighter Season 1 champion, Forrest Griffin.
I never said I was that good or that pretty, but baby, I can make it exciting. You know, what more can you ask for?
The Ultimate Fighting Championship presents UFC 59 Reality Check. Live Saturday, April 15th from the Arrowhead Pond in Anaheim, California. Tickets sold out, available only on pay-per-view.
Our main event that evening for the heavyweight championship, the Pitbull Andrei Arlovski against the Maniac Tim Sylvia. Tito Ortiz set to fight Forrest Griffin. Remember, the event is sold out, so you need to contact your local cable operator or satellite provider to get it on pay-per-view. Later tonight, our main event of the evening is for the UFC Middleweight Championship. Rich Franklin, the belt holder at 185 pounds, attempts to defend his title against the always dangerous French-Canadian David the Crow Loiseau. It is for the Middleweight Championship. This is tonight, our main event of the evening. Now, you'll remember Franklin broke onto the scene at UFC 42 at 205 pounds, defeating Evan Tanner. He later would defeat Tanner at 185 to become the middleweight champion. He has followed that up with a title defense, defeating Nate Rock Corey. David the Crow Loiseau has those very dangerous elbows. He also, in his impressive career, has defeated former UFC middleweight champion Evan Tanner. So who will have the magic tonight and either retain or become our middleweight champion? Magician Chris Angel amongst the celebrities here tonight in the house at the Mandalay Bay Events Center, as we have lots of beautiful sights and fans all fired up for the return of BJ Penn, as he will fight George St. Pierre as well later this evening. Middleweights are on the card next. Nate the Great is the 7-time King of Pancrase. He brings great credentials back inside the octagon. His opponent has always been ready to fight on short notice. Tonight, he got full preparation time. Joe El Dirte Dirksen is one of Canada's top mixed martial arts competitors. A submission expert, Dirksen has worked hard on his Muay Thai skills to round out his game. At UFC 52, Dirksen weathered the best shots from slugger Patrick Cote and finished him in the 3rd round by rear naked choke. With an impressive record of 32-8, Dirksen looks to score his 2nd UFC victory.
I'm hungry. I want to go out there and put on a show. And it doesn't matter, you know, if he's passive, it doesn't matter because I'm going to be aggressive. I'm going to make this an exciting fight.
Nate the Great Marquardt was the first ever middleweight King of Pancrase. Pancrase is one of Japan's oldest fighting organizations, and Nate is the only man to be a King of Pancrase 7 times. Nate prides himself on his versatility, but feels that his mentality and heart are his greatest weapons. He scored a unanimous decision victory over tough veteran Ivan Salivary in his UFC debut, and he hopes to continue up the middleweight rankings with a win tonight.
If we go in the octagon and we stand toe-to-toe, I have total confidence that I will knock him out.
Coming up next, Joe El Dirte Dirksen takes on Nate the Great Marquardt. Finally, and I mean finally, not on short notice, Joe Dirksen gets to fight. He fought Matt Lindland on short notice. He fought Patrick Cote on short notice. This time he knew who his opponent was going to be from day one. He got to prepare himself accordingly, and he's fired up to be back inside the Ultimate Fighting Championship.
Yeah, Dirksen is a very experienced guy with over 40 MMA bouts. He's got a lot of composure. I mean, we saw him in that fight with Patrick Cote. He got rocked so badly after the fight. I talked to him before the press conference. He said, "What happened? I don't remember the fight." He didn't remember anything. He finished Patrick Cote in a rear naked choke, but not before absorbing a bunch of heavy bombs. He took some heavy shots from Patrick Cote, but he kept his composure and wound up winning that fight. He's got losses to Matt Lindland. He's been in there with some really tough guys. He trains with Jeremy Horn and Billy Rush. He's a very well-rounded fighter, and finally gets his chance in the octagon without coming in on a short notice.
You know, it's worthy of note that while he represents the Canadian flag tonight, and he is from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, he's trained in Utah with Horn, as you talked about. His manager is Monty Cox. He's a teammate and friend of Rich Franklin, so he has been in the U.S. training with some of the best the UFC has to offer.
Gloves good. Got your mouthpiece, door protection. Best of luck, baby.
Final instructions from Big John McCarthy, who will be our referee for this fight. Nate the Great, Nate Marquardt. Impressive credentials, and I feel that in his mind, he thinks it's very important tonight to show off all his skills. The fight he had against Ivan Salivary at the Ultimate Fight Night #1 at the Cox Pavilion did not afford him the opportunity to show how great Nate the Great really is.
Yeah, you know, styles make fights, and unfortunately for the people watching, and unfortunately for Nate and Ivan, those two did not make a great fight stylistically. They clashed at very similar styles, and they were both kind of cautious. It was Nate's debut in the UFC, and it was, you know, Ivan's debut on national television on Spike TV, so it wasn't the most exciting fight, but Nate is a fantastic fighter. He's got great leg kicks, great jiu-jitsu, great takedown defense, great takedown, trains at Jackson's camp in New Mexico with Diego Sanchez, and you see Keith Jardine there. He's a very well-rounded fighter, and as you said, international experience being King of Pancrase.
7 times the King of Pancrase, the black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, a second-degree black belt in Pancrase MMA and Jiu-Jitsu, won the Boss Rutan Invitational at middleweight before. I mean, this is a man who comes in with all type of skills. Our tale of the tape for this middleweight matchup is brought to you by Zions Extreme Supplements for extreme athletes, available at GNC stores nationwide. This one's pretty darn even. Dirksen only 2 years older. An inch reach advantage for one or the other is not going to make any difference in this contest. Set to get our second fight of the night started. The official introductions, as always, come from the veteran voice, Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC middleweight division. Introducing first, the fighter standing in the blue corner. This man is a freestyle and jiu-jitsu fighter. He holds a professional record of 27 wins with 7 losses. Standing 6 feet tall, he weighed in at 185 pounds. Fighting out of Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, Joe El Dirty Dirksen. And now introducing his opponent standing in the red corner. This man is a freestyle fighter who holds a professional record of 25 wins with 6 losses and 1 draw. He stands 6 feet tall and weighed in at 183 pounds. Fighting out of Denver, Colorado, Nate the Great Marquardt. And when the action begins, our referee in charge of the octagon is Big John McCarthy.
All right, so Big John McCarthy will be our referee for this middleweight matchup. There's the beautiful Amber. And letting us know that we are set for round number 1 here from the Mandalay Bay Event Center. Nate Marquardt against Joe Dirksen, and they are giving an early bit of respect.
Here we go, Joe. You ready? You ready?
This one should be fun, Joe.
Come on.
Absolutely.
Dirksen really loves to bring it.
And Dirksen has said, it doesn't matter what he does, I am going to make this fight exciting. I will not have a boring fight. He promised that to Joe Silva.
Joe Silva, of course, our veteran matchmaker, putting together a great card again tonight. And, you want to talk about great cards. How about all the stuff ahead here in 2006? We'll talk about that later on the broadcast.
Nice leg kick by Marquardt.
Headed to the Golden State, and tonight USA against Canada. Reality checks ahead, and takedown opportunity defended nicely by Marquardt there.
Yeah, beautiful.
Oh, Marquardt
reversal.
trying to finish it quickly.
He's got a guillotine. Looks like Marquardt's got a guillotine.
Can he choke him out?
Dirksen's passed it, and he's in side control now. He's out. Marquardt stands up and got a hold of Dirksen's leg, though. This is a very excellent, it's an excellent display of well-rounded mixed martial arts skills. You see the transitions these guys are going through, from ground to stand up. That's the hardest part of this game, is combining the two things. Combining the stand-up and combining the ground game.
And Joe, the minute Dirksen was able to get his lower body free, get out of the legs of Marquardt couldn't use that full body to lock in that choke opportunity.
Exactly.
You've learned me a lot over the years, brother.
You learned yourself. I'm teaching you.
Gotta work. Come on, let's go.
Butterfly guard by Joe Dirksen. Nate's got some excellent passing, but Dirksen's got a great guard.
Let's work. Let's work. You want to stay there? Come on. Stop it right there, son. Let's go.
You're going to stand up and get her going.
He's not going to let this fight be boring either.
You got that right, and the fighters don't want it to be. Don't forget, UFC 59 reality check from the Arrowhead Pond of Anaheim, April 15th, is sold out. So contact your local cable operator or satellite provider. Buy it on pay-per-view. Arlovsky against Sylvia. Tito Ortiz taking on Forrest Griffin. Joe will visit with Tito Ortiz a little bit later tonight. Heavyweight championship on the line that evening. Tonight, the middleweight championship is up for grabs. Rich Franklin defending against David Loiseau, and a little bit later, George St. Pierre and BJ Penn. USA versus Canada, UFC 58, Dirksen and Marquardt sizing each other up in the stand-up game.
Nate lands a nice body kick.
Who has the advantage on the feet in your mind?
I believe Nate does.
Okay.
So far it looks like that. It looks like he's got superior kicks. At least he's landing them more. A nice punch right there, too.
Very explosive power and excellent hands for Nate Marquardt. Now, what we want to see is Marquardt engage, and he's countering again. But the way that Dirksen will push it, you think there'll be more counter opportunities tonight.
Dirksen lands a leg kick of his own. Little blood coming out of the mouth of Nate.
Good work.
Good
Good body shot by Dirksen there. Beautiful duck under and a body shot. That might have hurt Nate.
Dirksen, former occupation was construction. He was pouring concrete. He usually take 4 weeks off prior to getting ready for a big fight, but now he's able to train full-time for this one.
Oh!
High kick, glances the nose area.
Nate's got some very nice kicks. We saw a nice leg kick earlier in that exchange. There again, a leg kick. And a good punch, body clinch, takedown, half guard.
And Nate has I think Nate has the wider variety of skills in this matchup.
Joe Dirksen is very well-rounded as well, though, and Joe Dirksen has an excellent guard. He switched immediately from half guard. He got both butterflies in now.
You know, and the interesting thing when you talk about the guard of Dirksen, he'll be the first to admit that he kind of evolved in the last few years from a pure Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu competitor, Joe, to a man who has boxed and worked his hands a lot more in the last 4 or 5 seasons.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the only way to be successful in this game. And even then, I mean, we're seeing this sport evolve. We saw that with the Yves Edwards-Mark Homnick fight. You're seeing real world-class strikers. And we're seeing guys who, you know, we thought were great strikers, like Yves Edwards. Everybody thought that guy's like a fantastic striker. But you see, in comparison to a real world-class striker, it's just a hair below. There's many, many layers and levels.
Let's go.
Superman punch by Dirksen.
And then the irony of it all is that that fight ends in a submission.
Yeah, very ironic. But it could have been caused because of that beautiful body shot by Homnick, and you know, I mean, Yves could have been hurt while he was still down there. It didn't seem like he was trying very hard to get out of that triangle.
Round one going to be a tough one for the judges to call. Both had their moments. Mark Ward in the red corner.
Take a seat. Take a seat. Deep breath. Good round.
Just
Good
getting
round.
underway here, UFC 58 tonight from the Mandalay Bay Event Center. Coming up next, it is the potential fight of the year, as he is back, the prodigy, the former welterweight champion, BJ Penn, after a 2-year absence from the octagon, set to take on the 24-year-old French-Canadian Georges St-Pierre, who so dearly wants another shot at Matt Hughes and the UFC welterweight title.
I can't believe that's next.
No.
So not too big when you're coming in. Short stuff, short stuff. Don't leave with that big hook because he's looking to
There you see Jeremy Horn in the corner of Joe Dirksen, as we talked about before. The beautiful Rochelle, signifying the start of round number 2 here tonight. Rochelle did a nice job on the show brought to us by Zion, showing us how intense Rich Franklin trains at his home in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about that on the underground. People just amazed at the routine that Rich puts himself through.
All these men are superior athletes. I mean, it's just amazing what they do to their bodies. And as you mentioned, Joe, you've got to train everything. Hard push down almost, as opposed to a takedown there.
He caught Nate's kick, Dirksen did, and slammed him down. Now Dirksen's having his opportunity on top. Let's see how good Nate's guard is. Nate's got a butterfly in, trying to sweep. Looks like he's got double underhooks here. Now there's not a whole lot of sweeps from double underhooks in the full guard. In the half guard, it's an excellent position, but in the full guard, usually guys try to go for an over and an under. Oh,
look at that reversal of fortune.
Beautiful power. Just excellent strength and technique displayed there by Nate.
Mark Ward, 26 years old and so experienced. Both these men have been in a lot of different competitions. He's been a professional as Nate the Great since age 18. As you said, comes out of the camp in Albuquerque, New Mexico with Diego Sanchez.
Yeah, Greg Jackson's got a bunch of animals down there. Back on the feet.
Keith, the Dean of Mean Jardine. Second round, this one scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds.
Good left hook by Dirksen.
Come on, let's work.
You hear the instructions of John McCarthy. The chants supporting the red, white, and blue.
To exchange leg kicks. Not much on him, though.
Oh, good right with the right.
Good right hand to the body. Good body kick.
Yep. So Nate all of a sudden being the aggressor as opposed to the counter punch.
Body lock and he takes him down.
That's what we want to see from Nate Marquardt. The aggressor. The role of aggressor for Marquardt is one he can handle quite well.
Good job by Dirksen in getting the full guard here.
Don't forget, Joe and I will be with you live on Spike TV Thursday, April 6th. We begin at 9 p.m. from the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. Ultimate Fight Night featuring Rashad Evans and Joe Stevenson that night. The winners of Season 2 of The Ultimate Fighter. Also, Stephan Bonner will fight that evening, as will the ultra-popular Chris the Crippler Lieben. Oh, a big shot to Dirksen there, and that one hurt him.
A la Joe Riggs.
Big shot by Nate the Great to Joe El Dirte Dirksen. And that one will score some points. Half guard.
He's sort of got a full butterfly guard here. It could go back and forth from half guard to butterfly.
Yep, there you see it now. You see the feet inside.
Yeah, Dirksen is a very versatile guard. And very good sweeps, too. We saw in his fight with Matt.
Marquardt's starting to push the pace a little bit here, Joe.
And Dirksen is as well. Nice knees by Dirksen.
Gets out of it by taking down his opponent. Marquardt was rocked there as he smiles at the broadcast table.
I think he heard me say rocked.
I think so too. And he smiled at you to say, nah, I'm not rocked that badly.
For those of you playing the UFC drinking game, rocked is one shot. But that last one didn't count. Dirksen maneuvering off the fence.
Gotta work. Let's
Very
go.
Nice.
Let's go. Let's go, Nate. Do something. I'm gonna get you up. Let's go. Let's go, Nate.
Final 30 seconds of round number 2.
Oh, look at that. Joe Dirksen rolls him over. Oh, and takes a kick.
You know, that's the second time Marquardt has tried to do that as Dirksen stands up trying to catch him with a kick.
Dirksen just landed another left hook.
Superman punch, swing and a miss.
Marquardt coming back. Wow, what an exchange.
Yeah, 5 seconds left in the round.
He's got a guillotine here, but it's not going to work. Dirksen's in side control. Wow, what a round. What a round.
Well, they sized each other up for the first couple of minutes and then really pushed the pace at the end of that round.
Yeah, let's take a look at some of that action. Big left hook by Dirksen. Bang! Follow-up right hand. Here it is again. And then a follow-up right hand. Nate Quarry showing excellent composure there. He was in big trouble. Marquardt. I can't say. I'm just going to call him Nate.
Just call him the Great.
I can't say that name.
Don't back out. Go forward. Believe in it. Believe in it.
Go forward. Believe in it. Is the advice from his corner.
Push fast. Deep breaths. Into your nose, out to your mouth. Let's go. Big shots, so that left hook's everything.
Chris Tucker in the house tonight. The UFC is on fire right now. Third and final round. Dirksen urging the crowd for some noise.
All right, here we go. Dirksen's got to feel happy about that last round. He had Marquardt in some serious trouble. Yeah, I said it.
You did, and you said it very nicely.
I'm just going to call him Nate from now on. Big uppercut.
Caught him again. Somewhere in that second round, Nate decided he was going to push the pace a little bit, and he's really been effective in doing so. He rocked Joe Dirksen at the end of round number 2.
I think you mean Dirksen rocked. Oh, there we go.
There's the rock. He's tried it every time, and
he does it over and over again. That's an excellent technique. And said, these guys show excellent transition between the ground and the stand-up game, and that's why you see Nate throw those kicks when Dirksen stands.
Well, undoubtedly ahead on the judges' scorecards now is Nate Marquardt. Dirksen has had his moments, though. 3:45 remains in the third and final round, middleweight matchup.
Stay there, let's go. Watch the back of the head.
Dirksen on his back in the red trunks. Marquardt inside the guard of Dirksen in the blue trunks. Trying to pass.
Working the sweeps here. He's doing a really good job also of neutralizing Nate's offense from the guard. You see a lot of guys get bombed on from the guard, and you know, we've actually seen this with Dirksen. He got bombed on with when he fought Joe Riggs.
They're going to stand him up again.
Let's go back to the corner right here real quick.
Now that moment in the guard may have given Joe Dirksen time to recover because he was definitively rocked.
Lost his mouthpiece here, Big John McCarthy.
Watch this out.
Corner to wash it out. Giving Dirksen a nice little break.
And he was hanging on the fence a moment ago. It seems like he needed it.
Let's go, fight. Come on.
Now these superior athletes, I'll tell you what, they recover real quickly too.
This has been a tough pace. Another left hook. Nate seems to be open for that left hook. His hands are down. Oh, big right hand.
Again, and he caught him.
And a kick.
He may finish it here.
No, and then Dirksen comes back.
Nice job done by Joe Dirksen.
And good transition. Nate's got that guillotine again, but he's in side control. It looks like he's got his hands locked up. It's hard to see from this position. Nope, he's out of it. Now Dirksen's in side control. Good job by Nate switching it to half guard. Dirksen's going to try to pass and mount.
He just got pushed off.
Nate's got a hold of his leg. If he can lock a hold of that and spin him over, he can do what's called the electric chair sweep here. And he did it. Bang. Very nice. Now from here he's going to pass. He's going to get his left leg through. He's got one leg inside that is a half guard. He's going to try to pass. Joe Dirksen doing a good job of holding on, though.
1:37 remains in the third and final round.
That'll work, come on. Don't you sit there, let's
See if John McCarthy stands him up again. That uppercut is connected a couple of times. Nate Marquardt onto the chin of Joe Dirksen.
He passed here. Good job by Nate. Now he's in side control. Dirksen, very well-rounded. You know, he's always aware of being in bad positions and really mobile on his back. Gets back to full guard. It's very hard to finish a guy like Joe Dirksen.
It's good control right there, Joe.
Yeah, he's really good at neutralizing a guy's offense when he's on his back. He's rolling over for a sweep. He's got a hold of Nate's right arm, and what he's trying to do is force his hips up and roll over. Now he's in half guard.
Now Big John feels that they're doing enough on the ground here because Nate is trying to improve his position each time on the ground.
I sense Big John's going to stand him up unless something happens.
Well, if he does, there's not going to be much time left here.
Dirksen's trying hard to get up here, and he sweeps him. But Nate's got a guillotine. That looks tight. Well, he's in half guard. It's hard to finish in half guard. It's possible. But if he can turn it to full guard.
And he's getting some punches there. This is going to be the end of the round, though. This is going to be the end of the fight, Joe.
Yeah, Nate's arms are probably really tired at this point, and he has one arm in, which you can finish a guy with one arm in, but it's more difficult.
Nice fight.
What a great fight.
Nice fight.
Beautiful display of mixed martial arts technique and skill.
Now the Iceman, the light heavyweight champion of the world, Chuck Liddell, here at the Mandalay Bay Event Center tonight.
Let's take a look at some of the replays in that fight. Check out this right hand. Bang!
That's the one I was speaking of earlier, partner.
Mouthpiece drops out. Joe Dirksen managed to stay on his feet.
All right, let's bring in our colleague Eddie Bravo to see how he scored the fight.
That's all we wanted.
Very, very close fight. 29-28. Marquardt
The first round I gave to Marquardt, 10-9. He landed a lot more shots, although Dirksen just had a Superman punch there in the beginning. The second round, I gave that to Dirksen. He landed 2 big shots that rocked Marquardt. He had a left hook, a right hand, and Dirksen ended that second round with a fury. So the last round, that was the decider, and I gave it to Marquardt by a hair, 29-28.
All right, Eddie, thank you very much. Eddie will help us score the BJ Penn, George St. Pierre fight, as well as our main event this evening as well. Tim Sylvia will be involved in our main event at the Arrowhead Pond of Anaheim, UFC 59 reality check. The former heavyweight champion and his teammate from the Miletich camp, our welterweight champion, Matt Hughes, will be a very interested spectator for our next fight. Will it be Marquardt or Dirksen who gains the decision on this one? Here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards for decision. All 3 judges scored this contest 30-27. For the winner by unanimous decision, Nate the Great Marquardt.
So Eddie was right on his scorecard. The judges agreed, and a unanimous decision victory goes to Nate the Great, and he is in the octagon with Joe.
All right, I'm here with Nate Marquardt. Nate, congratulations. Good job. Were you hurt in that second round at all?
Honestly, I didn't really get hurt once. I got rocked a little bit, but I was completely there the whole time.
Okay, we're going to take a look at the replay. You both, it was a beautiful fight. Excellent exchanges. Talk us through some of this here.
Well, basically, my corner called out that he was leaning back, and when he leans back like this, that's time to go in right there. Time to be aggressive. But he's got a tough chin. I've caught a lot of guys harder, or not as hard as that, and they go down. So he's got a very tough chin.
Well, very exciting fight, Nate. Very close and exciting fight, and we look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you much. I just want to say that I want to thank all my trainers and my teammates for making this happen. And basically, I'm here for the title, so I'm not saying it has to be next fight, but I want it next fight. I want Rich Franklin. I want the winner of this the fight.
Who do you think's going to win tonight?
I think Franklin. I hope Franklin because he's a champion now, and I want to fight him.
All right. We look forward to seeing that. Nate Marquardt, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, already thinking about being the champion of the UFC after being the 7-time king of Pancrase. There he is, the former light heavyweight champion. Tito Ortiz is a character. Joe's going to visit with Tito in just a matter of moments. UFC 58 is being brought to you by the Mandalay Bay Hotel and Casino, Mandalay Bay, where excitement begins on the Las Vegas Strip. By Science Extreme Supplements for extreme athletes, available at GNC stores nationwide. And by The Hills Have Eyes. Fox Searchlight Pictures, The Hills Have Eyes, in theaters Friday, March 10th. Our jam-packed Mandalay Bay Event Center here tonight. Many are here to see what Dana White has termed to be the fight of the year between the Prodigy and the man known as GSP. Oh, a live look into the locker room of the Prodigy BJ Penn. He is just moments away now from returning officially to the Ultimate Fighting Championship. The Prodigy BJ Penn set for a welterweight confrontation with this man, GSP, George St. Pierre. And so many people have talked about St. Pierre being the future of the 170-pound division. But I will tell you straight up, St. Pierre has a heck of a challenge tonight as he gets set to take on BJ Penn. That fight still ahead on the card tonight. We are at Mandalay Bay tonight. In a couple of weeks, we will move down the street here in Las Vegas to the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino for Ultimate Fight Night live on Spike TV. On the card that night, Season 2 champions Rashad Evans and Joe Stevenson, as well as Season 1 stars Stephan Bonnar and Chris Lieben. We'll follow Ultimate Fight Night with the season premiere of The Ultimate Fighter 3. And the coaches are Ken Shamrock